Around 1.5 lakh people have lost their lives due to the pandemic at India. 1.5 lakh people, around the same numbers, they die every year due to road accidents in our country. So it's an ongoing pandemic on the roads year on year for several years. Friends, it's time for Road Safety Month, but Road Safety Month should be celebrated every month. So let's get together and cull out the top action points to reduce the road fatalities, to ensure that we are not living in a pandemic every year on the roads. So, good evening, gentlemen, and a big welcome to you for this very important discussion. We all know that the government of India is about to launch this year not a road safety week, but a road safety month, and that gets launched day after. So, as a precursor to that, to ensure that it's not just a week or a month, but every day, week, and month of the year can be, for road safety, because the figures that we have in front of us are extremely alarming. We all know in 2019, 1.5 lakh people lost their lives on the roads of our country. It's like a jumbo jet crashing every day, 400 people dying. A lot of children lose their lives. We all are experts. A lot is being done. It's not that nobody is doing nothing, but what can be done for better coordination of efforts? For example, Save Life Foundation, who are pioneered in getting the orders passed via their PIL in 2016 for a good Samaritan. They say that 70,000 people lives can be saved after a road accident if the bystanders get them to a hospital on time. That's a huge figure. It's almost half of the casualties. So what I'll do, I'll introduce all the speakers to all our people who are watching us across the world, and also just see the points of discussion which we have for today, and then we can take bit by bit. And I will request to our speakers, you can start with 3 to 4 minutes of our initial talk, and then we go speaker by speaker, and then we do a second round of again 3 to 4 minutes. That way everybody would get adequate time. All right. So gentlemen, please allow me to share my screen. I'll just share my screen. So friends, I hope you can see my screen right now. So this is about the National Road Safety Month special, and we are here to call out the top action points to prevent accidents, reduce response time, and save lives. And for this, we have uh, the top thought leaders for road safety in the country, and they are Mr. Ramashankar Pandey, who's the MD of Hera India Lighting. We have Mr. Avik Chattopadhyay, he's a co-founder of Experial. We have Kamar Ahmed Zaidi Sahab, he's a former Joint CP Traffic Delhi Police. We have Mr. Anil Chikkara, he's a motor licensing officer, Transport Department, Delhi. We have Dr. Sharad Jain, he's a trauma specialist and senior ortho surgeon at Merit at two hospitals. We have Professor M.N. Sri Hari, he's an advisor for traffic, transport, and infra, Government of Karnataka. We have Dr. Pushkar Chawla, he's a senior orthopedic and trauma surgeon at the Indian Spinal Injury Center. And of course, it's me. And of course, you can watch it live right now on WAF TV. Before we come to the points, so friends, at World Auto Forum, you have the annual OEM Gold Partners. You have Volkswagen. Friends, Volkswagen is one of the biggest car makers across the world. And we have MG, Morris Garages, who just launched in India in 2019. And in a short span of time, the kind of vehicles that they have launched, the autonomous connected electric vehicles, they've really taken the market by storm. Then we have the annual gold partners, Gallops Motors, one of the oldest partners at WAF, and they are known for their great professional service in the retail, in automotive retail, and there are several brands in their kitty. Then we have Amplus Solar, who are on a mission to transform the automotive to completely and totally and actually green. And they are saying, hey, let's convert all the warehouses, all the dealerships, factories to solar and switch to solar, have all the rooftops of solar right here. We have K2B Learning, friends. They are one of the foremost companies in corporate training and learning, and K2B stands for Knowledge to Business. And Focus Engineering, a fine consulting company which is working in vehicle after sales, consulting, training at India and Middle East. And we also have the annual associate partner, Jubilant Motorworks, part of the Jubilant Group, Again, finest automotive professional service in the automotive retail you'll find at Jubilant. And our media partners, WAF TV and The Patriot. WAF TV, of course, is our in-house web streaming channel at World Order Forum. You can Google WAF TV and reach it. And Patriot, a newspaper with a fine lineage started by Bharat Ratna Honorable Aruna Asif Ali ji more than 6 decades back, and they're known for their unbiased journalism and editorial. So that's about our partners, and we quickly go to the topics of discussion for today. So friends, as you all know, at WAF, we believe in dialogue to action. So it's time to have a focused, candid and action-oriented dialogue. And the topics we would like to cover, though the time is less, but I'm sure we can, generate a lot of cues from this, and we want to, aggregate all these points and share with the governments of state and at the center, and have a nice reward and recognition program around it to actually get them implemented. So how to harness tech for better governance and enforcement, road safety awareness, sustainable and effective, response time, practical tips to reduce, driver behavior. We can't blame them all the time for everything, right? But still, what has to be fixed? Laws, new and old. We have seen the laws getting changed. We have the new Motor Vehicle Amendment Act. We're having the new safety rules. What more needs to be done? Road design and safe infrastructure, an area which needs a lot of focus and attention. Coordination between multiple agencies, which at times becomes a problem area, but we can always take learnings from how other countries do it. Can India be pothole free? Can it be a reality? Let's discuss and come up with some actionable points. How to go beyond the road safety week and month and have a sustained progress in road safety every week and every month. And one big challenge to all the industry, all the thought leaders, to the government, state and central: can India be number one, not just in talks of road safety, but actually in road safety on the road? That's an open challenge. Let's come together and action it. So with this, I'll just stop sharing my screen and let's begin the discussion. So let's begin this discussion, friends, with our doctor friends, because let's start with them. Let's hear how tragic road accidents are, and also based on Save Lives survey, that 70,000 people can be saved if people are brought on time. So let's start with the doctors, where actually they are seeing all these things in real life. So we'd like to begin with Dr. Sharad Jain. So sir, if you can share how you are treating the roads accident victims, and how you get them back on their feet. What are the challenges that you face? According to you, what are the top 2-3 things which can really prevent accidents and reduce response time?
Thanks, Anuj. Thanks for giving me time. As Professor Shrihari said,
Dr. Jain, your audio is not there.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, can you hear me?
Man, it was fine when you were testing it.
Yeah. Is it now? Is it okay?
Perfect.
So as Professor Shrihari had said that he had already said about victims of the road traffic accidents and the number of deaths we are seeing. But I think the most important thing is the disability which is caused. Those who are dead, you have a registry to maintain how many people have died during that accident. But we don't have a registry to how many are disabled, how many morbidly they are living. So I have in last 1 week, it was so bad to see that I had 3 patients. One lost his arm, one lost his functions of the arm, and the other lost his leg. So I think the best part would be to prevent these accidents. Prevent these accidents at the road, on the roads only. We should not see these patients, I think. They should not be there. So the best thing would be to prevent the road accidents. And as far as saving the lives is concerned, I think reducing the response time, taking the patient as early as possible to a center where they can be managed properly is the most important thing.
Okay, fair enough, Dr. Jain. So something on, where do we lose time when we are getting the victim to you? Where is the maximum time lost and how it can be fixed?
I think it is lost on the roads itself. Once the accident happens, the person who is supposed to bring the patient to the hospital, he's in a fix what to do. Let's see if a road traffic accident happens and all 4 or 5 people who are traveling in that car are injured. So someone else needs to bring those patients to the hospital. Either the police van brings, or the bystanders who are standing there, they call the police vans and they bring, or the ambulance people, they bring the patient to the hospital. So the response is from them, and they should be trained enough. They should be looking out enough to bring the patients to the hospital or a casualty ward.
Okay, so where is the response time least? When the bystanders try to get them on their own, or when they call up 100 or 112 or 102 and they take help of emergency
I
services?
think the response time is less when the bystanders bring them themselves,
Mhm.
rather than waiting for the ambulance or the police vans. If they bring themselves, or if, like in an accident, one person is injured and one person is fine, and the other person brings that patient to the hospital, he comes the earliest.
Okay, fair enough. So, coming to Dr. Pushkar Chawla on this, sir, what are your experiences, with the response time and the victims, say in a place like NCR, Delhi?
I think so. In Delhi, we should be. Is it audible to you?
Yeah, yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah. Yeah. So in Delhi, a little different scenario because I think that's my notion. I prefer myself to bring by something like through an ambulance or through police van, if it's possible, not by the bystander, because in this we have a huge traffic lines. They can come very fast on a Delhi roads, and they know where to go, and
Yeah.
they are a little bit more trained than the general public itself. So I prefer a patient who is injured, more so of a very sick patient, has to be go through either through ambulance or through a police van. They are trained because they're doing daily or this business, and they know where to go and how to directly go to the casualty and where on. Uh, we have a little more fear in a public also.
Yeah.
Why we call it bystander? Because we are not doing anything. So we are called bystander, just standing and seeing them. People are doing, we are walking. Oh, he is injured, or we are seeing how he is injured, and we try to fix who is the at fault. This is not a time to fix that fault. It's to time to save the life or to save the limb there, and we have to act fast. By checking your list of things you are planning to do, you have given 10 points to us to in your mail. So I was just writing down that what should we do, and what as a bystander, and what should we not. So I've written few. So do not stand or do a overcrowding around it. uh, our theme is to report first, to report to a police or to ambulance as fast as possible, because talking about that who is at the fault and who is not, that's not my our business. We should carry on, report the police first or the ambulance or whatever the police, the things who can take it fast, and help the injured if it's possible. Shift a little more safer place if it's possible, and try to save yourself also, not in the middle of the road. So take it to a safety, and take help of a good Samaritan. If somebody else is doing, if somebody else is doing, you may help in helping the passing away the traffic, to help them. So these few things, I think we can help the people to pass on, to work a little faster.
Great. I think these are fantastic points which Dr. Chawla has shared. And I really like the point that there is a reason why people are called bystanders, because they are not doing much or anything. So if even the bystanders can help in regulating the traffic, or ensuring that the injured victim is pulled over on the roadside, doesn't get into an additional or a second accident. So, and yes, so these are little divergent views, that that the bystander can get quickly, but B, in a bigger metropolis, because the traffic snarls and issues, an emergency vehicle going with a siren can reach much faster and more efficient, and they know where to go, what to do, whom to report. So yes, so both can work in different places, different locations, and different time zones. So getting Kamar Ahmed Zaidi Saab in the discussion, who has been a joint CP traffic Delhi police and who has done several innovations during his tenure. So, Zaidi Saab, it's very easy to blame the police all the time. It's the national pastime also, most of the time. But at the same time, when surveys like these come out that 84% people are not aware of the Good Samaritan law, if the surveys come out that, 75% of the medics gave this response that police was harassing, Good Samaritan. They were asking name, where do you live, not letting them go. So people are forced to be a bystander. So, what are the things, according to you, which can be done so that bystanders are not bystanders? We get more good Samaritans, we reduce response time, we prevent accidents. Your thoughts, sir?
Very old problem, a very long time problem that people, whether they are bystander or whether they are passerby, they just don't react, in fact. And I can go back to the 7980. One of our commissioner, in fact, had issued a standing order advising the man in the casualty. We have a policeman available in every emergency, in every casualty, that whosoever brings a victim of the roadside accident, he should not be held there, he should not be stopped there, his number should be noted, and he should be allowed to go. And that was the practice started only to ensure and to assure people that whosoever is a good Samaritan and is bring somebody, some injured from roadside to the hospital, he is not harassed. But somehow the people are still not very convinced about this thing, that this will happen, or they don't want to get involved into the accident cases, because ultimately they say we'll have to go to the court, we'll have to depose there, or maybe there may be some problem to us. So that's one of the very big deterrent to the people, which stops them from taking roadside accidents to the hospital. So we have to, in fact, target the people through various means. Now we have the order of the Honorable Supreme Court in this. So we have to reach people through various medium, whether it is electronic medium, paper medium, by way of some motivation, by way of some reward. In fact, at one time, the reward was also announced by the Delhi government. I remember that if you bring a roadside accident victim to the hospital, you will be paid X amount. So these kind of things will naturally, and in fact, something should come from the within itself. This accident is not necessarily happening with somebody else on the road. It can happen to you yourself. If it happens to you yourself, then what would you expect from others? If that kind of a feeling comes in, I'm sure you'll not leave a patient on the road, you'll not leave a victim on the road, and you shift him to the hospital. So these are various actions we should take on this. And this goes without any doubt that this will go on help in helping the people's life, saving their lives, saving their limbs, and ultimately their rehabilitation. Please. One thing I would like to say, that you said that it should not be a year, it should not be a month, it should not be. In fact, the road safety is a daily matter. The moment you leave, the moment you come onto the road safety should be very high on your mind. While you are occupied with so many professional hazards, so many business hazards, or so many family commitments, and sometimes your road safety sense gets compromised. But I would suggest that no, while on wheel, while on any other mode of road, any conveyance on the road safety should be prime on your mind.
Right, sir. Fair
Please.
enough, sir. These are very important points by Kamar Ahmed Zaidi Saab. So, sir, in fact, this reminds me, because, my wife and I, we also have an NGO, Citizens for Better India. We do a lot for, I don't want to boast, but we try to do our bit for senior citizens, children, women, legal empowerment. So, of course, if and when we personally witness an accident, we don't turn our head away. We report it immediately. And a couple of times it has happened with us also, like we were returning late at night, from my in-laws' place, and we witnessed an accident. Immediately we called up, 100, and phones started coming in. So each time we would pull over and give the entire explanation. And, after 45 minutes, this one gentleman calls, and he says, you are reporting this accident. Oh, this is an old accident. It got reported hours back. You have wasted time. You have wasted our time. So I asked him, if it was hours back, why is the guy still on the road? So that goes against
So,
you.
no, I agree with you. In a force, such a big force, there could be few people who doesn't know how to behave properly or how to know to respond. In fact, it is a situation. Everybody who's reporting, he's doing his duty. I
Exactly.
think that kind of a response we don't expect from police.
Exactly. So somewhere we can also have a technology, a tech part, at the emergency helpline at PCR, that if some accident has been reported by half a dozen or a dozen people, they can immediately tell you, hey, that's been reported. Hey, we've got that covered. We've got that information. Thank you so much. So that we don't reinvent the wheel and the same effort doesn't get duplicated for the same accident and cause communication problems, coordination issues, people not reaching, or too many people reaching the same accident, others getting left out. Technology can
No,
be
that doesn't usually happen because every PCR van is allotted a particular area and they try to send that particular PCR van to the scene, which is in that area. If that is busy in somewhere other case, in that case, they direct the vehicle from the other side. This is possible that both the vehicle reaches there. But I mean, I hope that your case is only the solitary case we have just noted here, and it's not a practice with the police. And of course, police is high tech. I can assure you that we have a system in our control room where everything is digitally locked and these kind of things are taken care of.
great, sir. I'm really happy. In fact, I remember 2 years back when we had a discussion with Niti Aayog, which I organized. I was there in that. So the one of the additional CP's traffic had mentioned how they're using AI and ML to understand traffic patterns and to ensure there are less bottlenecks. So of course the forces are getting very high tech enabled for for sure. So moving on to Professor Srihari, has worked with so many governments and is like an authority on traffic, on transport, on safety, on infra. So Professor Saab,
Yes, sir.
you've just heard, the doctors. You've just heard Zaidi Saab speak. What are your thoughts on, if you want to comment on some things? And according to you, as I had mentioned earlier in the discussion, top 2, 3 things we need to set right. Pareto principle. You do this 20%, you take care of 80%. So those basics which need to be in place.
Sir, okay, sir. I want to start with the slogan, accident are made accidentally. That is a wrong, in fact. Accidents are man-made. Basically, it is believed, we have done a lot of sufficient work also on that. Accidents are often due to human behavior approach and in driving habits, very bad driving habits. Both makes a lot of accidents. Out of 100 accidents, or in a percentage if you give, 65% of the accidents are man-made or a driver makes the habits. Whereas 10 to 12% is contribution from the roads. And even nowadays, vehicles are very good, scientifically development, and also speed is very, very heavy. The body is lightweight of the vehicle. So all this put together, the vehicle stability is also very important. Earlier days, we used to have ambassador car and Fiat car with sturdy cars. Nowadays, we have a lot of very gauges are different now. And that is makes more difference. It is automobile industry, in fact. And to tell you here, these road accidents happening in the place where it is safety is not taken into consideration. I believe more emphasis should be given to road construction, road planning, and road design. Every inch of the road should be planned for the safety. Unfortunately, all our Indian roads are very, very narrow. We can do very little. We cannot have a separate lane for accidents or emergency vehicles in case of emergencies that we don't have at all. So with these things now, the emergency vehicles become a part of the traffic stream. I have seen many ambulances stuck in the road and traffic jams. So this is also causing a lot of problems in our Bangalore roads. If we talk about it, the contribution from the road, even though it is 12%, but I'm sure because of that reason, a pothole may kill hundreds of people until it's rectified. So potholes is a very, very dangerous. Road markings, sufficient sign and signages, merging vehicles, diverging vehicles, all this put together involved a lot of accidents in engineering. So regarding the vehicles are good, no doubt. Nowadays, good vehicles coming up now. That a lot of sensors, camera, and all the technologies have been come up now. So with these new technologies, one can remotely, we can control the vehicle very easily, its movement, its control, log into the other vehicle in front of you. All these things can be made nowadays with a lot of technologies advancements. But I feel it's a driver who makes more, because driver behavior is erratic. Basically, a boy driving with girlfriend having in mind, he drive very fast. Similarly, a person who want to see his father in a hospital, he drive erratically because of urgency. So with all this driver behavior is very uncertain. We have carried out a lot of research work along with the NIMANS, also with Dr. Guraj. So we have done a lot of works on that. Why the accident and human behavior approach pattern? This is so erratic. So I think probably doctors can definitely tell better the human behavior approach rather than road. Road can be rectified. Vehicle can be rectified because it's our control. Whereas the driver control is not at all happen in our control. The driver behavior and also his way of driving habits definitely is going to play a vital role in road accidents. Even we have used a lot of GPS to see that vehicles can easily come, ambulance can come to the spot and can take a shortest path and also easier path to the hospitals. So GPS we can adopt it, no issue at all. But scientific development will afterwards only happens after the accident. How to prevent the accident is nothing but the how one can be very careful, how the driver thinks and how the driver drives also. More to the people we find always driving, we get pleasure, wheeling and going in a say this single wheel also driving, and secondly rash driving, not stopping properly, erratic driving, all these things contribution a lot of for the accidents in fact. The GDP is almost 2 to 2.5% GDP every year we are losing with the accident cost. People getting killed 1.5 lakhs and above per year. It is a world war, more than the world war it is. The people got killed now. It is a really astonishing. Even the World Bank told very clearly, our honorable MORTH minister, our honorable Nitin Gadkari saw, he said, will not give even single pie until unless you make your road safer. So roads are, even though we have a 2% roads of national highways in India, it is resulting in 66% of the road accidents, unfortunately. That means national highways are totally neglected. With 2 lanes or 2 roads cross each other at the grade. We have to remove that one. We have to take one road above the other road so that at least both vehicles can be merging easily without any problem. Even free left turn we have to give it. Many times people loses their patience because of a lot of delays, congestions. Even the drivers of the ambulances, they are unable to drive the vehicles properly and have to work under stress and strain also it is.
Fair enough. So these are the problems, Professor Srihari, that are there, that are existing, and to which we need to find some plausible, practical and sustainable solutions. So if I would just like to say something over here, 2 years back at World Order Forum, we have this think tank section on our website where we put transformative thoughts which can be led to action. So we had put 2 thoughts there, and both these thoughts actually, in a way, they can find their genesis in what you just said right now. The first one was that how to reduce the response time. So for that, World Order Forum think tank had suggested, let's have something called Aadhaar 2.
Hello.
Hello, thank you, sir. You're back. So so the thoughts were, one was Aadhaar 2. In Aadhaar 2, it was submitted that just the way we have Aadhaar, everybody has Aadhaar. I got one recently when I was convinced that the safety is fine, it's mandated now for returns. So if every road fixture can also have an Aadhaar, any road fixture, whether it's a street light or it's a bus stop or it's a traffic light, it has a number, a unique number, which is clearly visible. So in case of a road accident, because a lot of time gets spent in telling the people your location to the emergency services. So if you can just tell that number. So if I'm at a red light or at a bus stop or it's a traffic light, it's a street lamp, I just say the number A1002/1/2021. That's it. It is their duty to put in their smartphone or handheld and navigate to me, and not put it on me कि भाई साहब आप कहाँ खड़े हो, आप मिल नहीं रहे हो, आप ठीक से समझा नहीं रहे हो. A lot of precious time gets wasted. That's number one. And in fact, that's number 2. And number 1, what Professor Saab shared, that road design, it's very easy to blame the drivers. If, we had also put as part of WAF think tank, for a tomato ketchup also, if you want to sell in the market, there is a FSSAI number without which you cannot sell. But if you want to change a road, you want to renovate it, you want to change any layout, have any turn, you don't need anyone's permission. PWD comes and does it, municipal corporation comes and does it, some other department comes and does it. No one takes any permission from any design authority who's supposed to give you the approval whether this is commuter, pedestrian friendly or not. There's no body like that. So why can't that be there? So basics. So something on that, Professor Srihari, if you can share. Are there any plans to do it?
Yeah, generally what happens here, every state we have road safety council. Unfortunately, even though I am a member to that, or fortunately, not even once it has been called in our state. So mostly it is met with not with the experts, it is the RTOs or transport department or maybe involving police department. Of course, they are both of them good their own aspects. But technically, it is many accidents will take place because of the poor control, traffic management. And many times it so happens because of our indirectly we're not able to handle it properly. And every man will try to behave on his own, will try to violate. We find more pleasure in violating the norms because we become hero. That's our hero culture should go in our society, that whatever we follow, we have to do more on the regular driving habits are properly trained. Even I'm sorry to say here, I have seen many cases driving license are issued just for payment or even once drive this thing. So undergoing 20 days training or undergoing 10 days, 1 hour training, is it eligible for road driving habits or road driving culture? Or do we know anything on driving habit? That is very, very apart. Even how many police people, for example, a traffic police, you want to, before understanding what is what, by that time he will get transferred. So most of the cases I also told the government not to transfer at least traffic people. The crime and all, okay, nature of crime will be same. Whereas the traffic behavior, we have almost all 70 to 80 factors, the road accident, why it take place. In that 70 factors, we have to map all the factors. So not only human psychology, human behavior approach is very, very important, which is almost is very erratic and very difficult to determine. Whereas all the deterministic models, we can develop it. The model for that mathematical modeling can be made, and definitely we can work it out with along with the other systems, peripherals, and a good camera, sensor, and GPS. These three able to locate the accident spots also very easily. So probably we can come out with number of accidents now controlled and regulated by just human interventions.
Sure, fair enough. Fair enough, Professor Srihari. We'll come back to you with your additional points. So, based on the points that we have discussed till now, we have discussed about how to reduce response time. We have discussed the driver behavior. We have discussed the need for the right road design. We have discussed Good Samaritan. So, getting in the discussion now, Anilji, if you're there, if you can just please unmute yourself, because we just discussed the licensing regime as well. When we discuss licensing regime, we have to get you in the conversation. So, sir, you have been there, in the motor licensing department. You have had such a long experience. And I'm sure while working, in a transport department, one comes across several points that, hey, if this thing was right, road safety would be enhanced. If this thing was fixed, the road fatalities would reduce. If this thing was done in the right way, we will have reduced response time. So please feel free to share these points, sir.
Thank you, Anuj. And I first of all regret for the delay, but now I've joined and I will definitely contribute input to the discussions. And as you have rightly mentioned that RTO people are there who are to check the ability of the driving skill. Yes, it is there, but how much is the driving time or opportunity is given to the inspector to check the ability, because this driver's ability is not only which is calculated in 2-3 terms, which is there in the CMVR. So it requires complete education, because as prior to this transport department, I was in Toyota Motor Corporation. So in Japanese company, what we have seen is the safety is it's an art of life. So they are at all time working safe, whether it is at home, whether it is at road, or whether you are walking. So safety has to be there in our DNA, first of all. And the education, right from the beginning, we need to inculcate the driving road safety habits to our genes. And then later, because for at present, there are two steps taken in the for issuing the driving license. One is learner license and another is driving testing. So for as far as learner license is concerned, it requires only 10 questions, and out of 10 questions, you are required to know 6 out of them. So it is very easy for any person. So and that does not take any kind of guarantee that you are knowing the driver's precautions or whatever you need to know before getting on the steering. Next is a driving test. So in Delhi, we have some automated driving test track, and yes, it is a beginning. How there is some infrastructure which ensures that you know some of the driving skill, and it is taken only for the 2-3 minutes. So and it is having few formations, but few formation, if we take care, it will not complete even 1% of the testing which is required to for any drivers. Next, and this because we do not have any system in the society that we require to get input right from the beginning in the childhood itself. And just driving license is being issued and being treated by the government and the society just like identity card to show to the traffic police that I am authorized to drive. So and this testing procedure, I believe that training should be stringent, and before this testing part should not be so important, but training part has to be so important. And for training part, we require theoretical and psychological test also. And in Commonwealth game, we had made 3,000 driver was undergone for the psychological tests, and this psychometric test had given I mean to say such a wonderful result that even still we are remembering that why this system is not there in our driving license system. And third one is that our training has to be stringent, and that should take at least 6 months of the time or 9 months of the time, even 1 year, so that he is acquainted with all the fundamentals which we need for the driving, for safe driving. Should go for the issuance of the existing system. When one inspector has to test 200 applicants, so you can very well imagine that what kind of driving licenses are being issued.
Fair enough, Anilji. So there is a huge improvement opportunity in the licensing, testing, and as you mentioned, at the CWG 2010, the psychometric test was done for 3,000 drivers. So actually, we take Aditi Devo Bhav a bit too seriously. When it is people, foreign dignitaries coming to our country, we want to show our best side. So we had the emergency lane, we had the best, processes in place, we had lane driving, we had strict enforcement. But why can't these good things continue even beyond a CWG, which is very important to have sustained on a daily basis, as it was mentioned. The road safety has to be done on a daily basis, and it should not be just for an Olympics or an Asiad Games or a CWG. We have to do it first for our own self, our own countrymen and women, and then of course, just like in the flight, the safety protocol. First, put the mask on your own, face, and then on, your family or anyone else. So switching gears, so coming to our Amitabh Bachchan of road safety, as we call him, Pandey ji. who has been spearheading several initiatives, and who has done a lot with the government of India. He's chairing the road safety committee at FICCI as well. So Pandeyji, you're just about to launch the Safe Speed Challenge on Monday with the road safety month, and I'm sure you are really super busy right now, doing the arrangements, planning, coordination with your team. Still, you have taken out time. Thanks a ton for that. So, Pandeyji, you are a repository of road safety, and you. So, if we can come out with top 2 3 things that we need to do to ensure that there is a difference, a positive change at the ground level, what would they be?
Thanks a lot, Anuj. And first of all, I thank every one of you. Very valid points, because everyone is involved. This is road safety, not a topic which we are officially responsible. This is like personal to all of us. And that's why you come up with your personal experiences, including our schools, colleges, our kids. And we are all worried about that. So it's beyond business little bit. And that's why everyone comes up very passionately on this topic. You see in this show also, everybody is talking very, very passionately, because this is about our own countrymen, our lives, almost like corona. Corona is also a similar problem, right? We are safe as long as everybody is safe out of corona, then only we are safe. Same way is road crash, that the last guy in the road, when he is safe, all of us are safe. We cannot make that, there's no difference between rich and poor and the bigger car or the smaller car. Everyone, this is an ecosystem problem. And that is why my submission is that can we stop, blaming every stakeholder. We have like every stakeholder is blaming the other stakeholder, the other stakeholder, the other stakeholder, because it's a complex topic. And in the right intention, nobody want to kill anybody, but yes, there are negligences. But the person does not understand that that negligence can prove to be fatal. Be it a small pothole. The guy who is building the road, he might feel that, okay, if I have to have a project report with a feasibility, and this is the cost of the road, what he gets from the government, what is the standard, and all that complexity, he says it's okay if you have one pothole, it is beyond my hand. But you know that if a two-wheeler goes inside the pothole and the truck comes, a person is killed. So probably somewhere we have to change the narrative. And the narrative which we are taking is, जब हम बदलेंगे तो देश बदलेगा. And here I'm talking about me personally. Here talking about all the stakeholders that individually they can do. So as you rightly said, that can we make, rather than the Gyan approach, because normal janta, for them road crash is like some of us say that even if I do everything safe, I can still have a crash, because on road some idiots will kill me. I'll not call idiots that way, but it is not in your full control. At the same time, I don't adopt any rule, I'm still safe. So both are possible, because our problem is road crash. That's why road crash is considered more like a bad luck. And you will see people having those Nibu Mirchi, black cat, and Kali Billi, Rasta Katna. And when you go out of home, your elders in the home will tell you, don't do this if you're going out, because it is very superstitious. And we have considered this as a resign now. It is resign. Hame to marna hi hai. Because whatever you will hear from all of us also, we all have something for the other stakeholder. And we always think it on, but I think you took up very rightly, Anush, that what can we do? So we as an industry also has a role. We as a public also has a role. In the Safe Speed Challenge, what we have done, and many people are talking about the potholes and the hazard on the road. So we have mapped around 3.5 lakhs of these hazards. And we have put this into technology, into a mobile. This mobile will be in your car. The moment you reach near to a hazard, because hazard will keep on coming. You cannot stop the zero hazard in the country. There will be hazards. And then it alerts you, a lady voice will come and say, Mr. Srihari, please slow down in 200 meters, you have a hazard. Now, it is good for you, it is safeguarding you, but then what do you respond to it? Do you slow down? If you slow down, we want to give you a pat on the back. We want to recognize you. Because abhi tak kya tha, only chalan used to be the deterrent. But now we should also get appreciation. When you do something good, you should be giving appreciation. So Safe Speed Challenge is exactly like that. Everybody can participate, and those who will do good safe speed miles, they will travel with good response time, your alert. Then we will give them certificates. Everybody take a pledge, and Mr. Gadkari will flag it off on 18th when the Road Safety Month is going to start. And the idea is it goes like viral. And why to go viral? Because each one of us can participate. It is around the country. You don't have to go to a Buddha circuit or somewhere to participate into safe speed challenge. Maybe for Formula One, you have to go outside the country, but for this, you can do it wherever you are. And you will also get certain, discussion and public debate, because we have 5 ladies selected on a national selection. These ladies are starting from Amritsar to Kanyakumari. On 18, they'll be flagged off by Mr. Gadkari, Mr. Rajnath Singh, because road safety month will start. And then there will be 24/7 live. Only in sleeping time they will not be live. We are putting cameras on them, that how they are driving, and public will vote for them. So they'll have a safety score, and the safety score will be voted. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to let people, in a very entertaining way, get into this topic. It is a very passionate topic, very difficult topic. So why not we all change a little bit, maybe on one parameter, which is speed response. That's the thinking what we have. Let's see how people adopt this energy.
Sure. So, Pandyaji, in a way, basically, we are planning a reality show on road safety starting day after. And this reality show is open to the entire Indian public. So, we'll have a few drivers who will drive from Jammu and Kashmir to Kanyakumari, but then it will be open to all. So, it is one big boss where everybody can participate in real life.
Yes. And the beauty is you get instant score. Your leaderboard will come. You know where you stand, immediately. Your organization also. Let's take all the World Auto Forum team. They will have their own score. And then Anuj, as World Auto Forum, you'll have your own score. Now, all put together how much. Hela will have its own score, And it is going to be interesting. Maybe we may fail initially. It's a month, right? So first week, my score will be low. I will improve. That's the purpose. That things should improve.
That's a good thing. Actually, we can, encourage a lot of these fleet owners to participate. So if I'm a Ola, or if I'm a Uber, or if I'm a huge fleet owner of buses, or if I'm DTC, so I can encourage all of them to participate, and it will be real-time reward and recognition. That's a fantastic thought. So getting now Avigdha in the conversation. So Avigdha has been listening to all of us very patiently, and he's an industry veteran, and I'm sure he has absorbed everybody's thoughts, and there is real-time processing which is going on in Avigdha's brains. So Avigdha, we want to take a deep dive in your processing right now. Please feel free.
No, firstly, being called a veteran, I don't know whether it's a compliment or a, or a bit of a nudge. But yes, I've spent a few years in the industry, and the conversation and everybody's views, everybody's inputs was really enriching. And Anuj, I would take up the very name that Rama has given this entire program. He calls it Safe Speed. Okay, now the two of them typically are supposed to be contrasting. Okay, but the message that is going out is they are not contrasting. They can be complementary. You can enjoy driving fast as long as you drive safe. Okay, and as long as everybody else also drives safe, you can really enjoy motoring in any part of the country. You can enjoy motoring even on your commute to work. Okay, now coming to taking on from what Rama said about looking at things from a more positive point of view. I've always held that simple solutions can be found, and some of them, they really need to be good behavior either comes out of yourself, or you need to go to a school which teaches you how to behave well. Okay, and here I say that either the industry does things of its own self, okay, of its own volition, knowing that it has a responsibility towards the larger population and to the nation, or if the industry does not do that, then somebody has to give it a rap on its knuckles and say, guys, behave properly. Okay, so as a part of good behavior, I would say, just like the industry has a certain percentage of their profit kept aside CSR, okay, I would say it should be mandatory on the industry to keep a certain percentage of their profits kept aside for road safety awareness building. Okay, there was a point of time when we used to see very effective road safety communication from companies like Maruti, companies like Tata Motors, companies like Seat. Why has it all stopped? Okay, I mean, companies should not be doing it just sporadically. this nation has to have a 24/7, 365 days road safety communication program going on. All corporates should contribute a certain percentage of their profits into it. Okay, and that is the only way you will keep communicating. And today you have social media, you have television, you have print. So that's number one. It should be mandated. That's one. Number two, we just don't recognize good deeds. That's another big problem. As someone correctly said, in fact, Kamar Ahmed Saab said that in Delhi there was a decision to recognize the good Samaritans. Why has it not really happened? For example, why don't various state governments, why don't they put out their photographs in newspapers saying that these are your model citizens, so that it at least inspires other people to go ahead and do the same. Similarly, we also need to recognize the states and the various traffic authorities which are doing good work. We need to recognize them, and they need to be recognized at a national level. So if we can have a smart cities challenge, we must have a national road safety, say an index or a national road safety challenge or something like that, where every state, okay, every state's transport authority, various city councils and so on, they are evaluated, they are measured, and they are recognized. The idea is not to deride them. The idea is to say that we are here, given all the resources that we had, but see, even in this situation, there are some among us who are acting much smarter, and they are doing much better jobs. Okay, and we don't need to reinvent the wheel. There will be something done in Delhi which can be implemented even in Kochi. There will be something done in Kolkata which can be implemented in Bulandshahr. Okay, it can easily be done. So let us please start recognizing and measuring. Okay, all the various stakeholders involved in the area of road safety. And the third and the last one I want to say is, somewhere the vehicle makers, I've been part of the vehicle maker community for many years, and I've always taken recourse to the fact that listen, we meet the safety standards set up by the government of India, right? As long as I'm meeting all safety requirements, as long as I'm meeting all safety regulations, how dare you tell me that I'm not making safe enough vehicles? Okay, who the hell is someone like Global NCAP to come and tell me that I scored just a 1-star or a 2-star when it comes to offset crash or side impact crash?
Or a 0-star.
Yeah, I mean 0 stars also. Yes, absolutely. Okay, all I'm saying is we need to go beyond our mandate, right? There is not, every time we don't always follow the government regulations. Where it actually benefits us, we go ahead and go beyond government regulations if required. And here I feel that the industry again has to come together and put in some kind of enablers to road safety or enablers to safer driving, okay, which are 100% incorporated in all vehicles. They will obviously be of different. For example, we always have a recourse to how the seatbelt reminder will not come on, as long as we just put a buckle in the seat in the slot, and the sensor is switched off. Now all automakers know that. Come on, don't kid yourselves. You can put in a system in place where the sensor goes off or the alarm goes off only when there is a wait and the engagement. You know that very well. Please go ahead and do it. What stops you? Okay, similarly, it's the same. There will be similar, easy fixes which can be done in the case of commercial vehicles. There can be easy fixes done in the case of two-wheelers and every category of vehicles. So please go beyond just the government regulations, because at the end of the day, if 2% of our GDP is lost, as Srihari sir was saying, if 2% of our GDP is lost to accidents, how much do we need to actually pool in our resources? It'll not even be 0.2% of the GDP of the industry coming together and incorporating more safety systems and let me say warnings and hazards or whatever to ensure that this 2% is reduced.
Great.
So to me, there's just 2-3 things that we need to do, and to me, the industry has a role which is has a certain responsibility, okay, towards this particular cause.
Absolutely. All valid points, Avigda, and we have taken a note. And as I had shared in the beginning of the conversation, as the World Order Forum, the WAF way, this will not just be just any other discussion. All the key takeaways, I'm already jotting them down, and our team is already on the job. We shall be putting these as important suggestions, recommendations to the government, and also the competition that we are planning with the state and the central governments. In fact, I was just thinking, Abhita, while you were saying, we can recognize the governments, we can also have something like, a Kolkata model, or a Bhubaneswar model, or a Jhansi model, or a Mumbai model. You do something in your area, you do a pioneering, safety initiative, and we name it after you or the city, and you get immortalized, uh, as a government official, or as a possible government body. So I think we are almost out of time, though we had thought we will come in the next round for 3 to 4 minutes. So that's the intensity of this topic. Everybody's passion comes out. So I think let's take next 30 seconds to a minute per speaker, and just summarize our points based on our points and also what we have heard. So starting again with Dr. Sharad Jain. So sir, some closing remarks from your end, 30 seconds to a minute, please feel free.
Yeah, one thing I would like to say is that you all guys are from Delhi. I think you are talking about Delhi. So I'm talking about Meerut, which is connected to many rural villages and all. So people there don't have an access to all these gadgets and all. So we need to teach everyone. We need to teach a emergency response system to every person. Maybe we might need the help of village heads, punches and all, and so that everyone is aware of how to treat, how to give a first aid and a primary aid to a victim of road traffic accident. And we should have a universal number of calling to bring the ambulance or bring the police van, because at local places, in far off villages or roads where no lights are there, a lot of potholes are there, accidents frequently take place, and the victim comes to us very late after the accident. So we need a system in place to decrease our response time from the rural areas. And one thing I want to add to the motor vehicle, what Avigda said, is that we should have some kind of a first aid, a proper first aid kit, not like these people are giving in our cars, which doesn't have anything of value. They should have a proper cervical collar, stabilizing boards, should be there, and it should be present in all the vehicles at a specific point where everyone knows where they are kept, and people can take it out and use it properly. And one more thing for the drivers, I think we should call on the Bollywood and the ad guys not to show them as machos who are driving fast, and it should be stopped from doing that, because speeding is roads are not roads are not built to speed or show your machism. That's what I want to say.
I think very valid points, Dr. Sharad. So, Avigda, the contest that we are planning, with the state and the central governments, in that we can also give this challenge to the authorities and to the government body that, hey, if you involve the panchayats, if you involve, them at every tehsil district, level, you will get extra points, for winning that contest. And that's a very valid point, Dr. Jain. Bollywood, in fact, most of the movies, when they show, whether it's the hero or the villain or anyone, they're driving a vehicle, in most of the cases, top mega stars, you see them wearing seatbelt. In fact, I had discussed this with one of the movie directors also. What do you guys have against the seatbelt, man? You can at least show even top actors like Bachchan Saab, I've seen him so many times, I even tweeted to him. So the director said, hey, I'm showing a hero going and shooting someone. He's already committing such a big crime. What is not wearing a seatbelt in front of that? That was his response. Just imagine. So, okay. So, Dr. Chawla, some points from your end, sir, before we wrap up.
Yeah. Only thing is just to help that injured patient, because we are the doctors. We only comes when the incident has occurred. So just to do not stand or overcrowd there. please report and help the injured if you can. If you not, please go away, let the other person do the job. uh, Reckless shifting from one place to the other, because I know he's sitting there, so holding from the hand, pulling her from the leg or from the neck, you may do a secondary injury. Please stop doing it. Take care of else. If you can help that patient there and then, and try to cordon off that area to a safer zone, that's better. Just stop there. Don't try to do everything there. Check for simple response. What's your name? If the patient is saying, my name is this, he is okay, he is safe. You need not to be worried too much. Let the people who knows how to shift him will help him. Only 3 points there. Thank you.
These are very important points, Dr. Chawla. I must say that. In fact, these should be made part of the awareness campaign. I think Ministry of Road Transport and Highways had roped in Akshay Kumar for the road safety campaign. I think one of the videos can also be made on this amongst the series. So thanks a ton for these points, Dr. Chawla. So Professor Srihari, some last points from your end, sir?
In my opinion, in addition to the government, lot of private bodies also we have to show our responsibility. So RWAs, Resident Welfare Associations, Lions, or JCs, or any other social organization, they should work together and they should conduct lot of classes for auto rickshaw drivers, cab drivers, car drivers, bus drivers alike, and also promote the road safety culture, road safety habits, how to drive safely. That's very, very important because we cannot expect anything overnight, all the things now. So in addition to this, now we also should have the responsibility. We have to follow the culture like reach home safe. Because every house, every child, every wife, they're all waiting for our safe return in the evening or night when you go out for the job. So in every family, since they're waiting for a safe return, we have to follow the culture, reach home safe. We also should make others to also follow all the norms, regulations, rules, some discipline, roadside discipline. That is very, very important, sir. Thank you.
Great, sir. Fantastic. Fantastic points, sir, Professor Saab. So, do we have Kamar Ahmed Zaidi Saab here? I can't see him in the window over here. Is he there? Or has he inadvertently logged off? Okay, till he joins us back. So, Anilji, last points from your end, sir?
Yes, sir. Sir, it is a very wonderful discussions, and I could find out the points that we divide the road safety into major areas. One is active, another is passive. So first of all, if we do have our training system so robust that it will not let accident to happen, and secondly, if accident happens, so let the sacrifice of the victims should not go waste. So we should collect all the evidence, and all sort of accident, whether it is a fatal or non-fatal or major accident. So they should be recorded, and some information should be available at or all kind of media that how this accident has happened, and so that because at present we also get to know how to drive the vehicle, but we don't know how to prevent from the accident. So this is the point that our driving will be safe only when we are aware of or how to prevent the accident, because every accident, if we just make them enumerated or we make them coded one that for this kind of lapse, this was the accident. So animation can be made out of these evidences. So our system, whatever we do have in the training, so training is lacking, and testing should be the secondary one. But if we do have a system taking care by government, society, industry, and all the stakeholders, so we emphasize on the robust training, and so that we can come up with the next years or years to come with the declined road accident number. So this is my view, sir.
Right, Anilji. So harnessing technology and disseminating training at a large scale are essentially your important takeaways on that. Uh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great, fair enough. Right, sir. So yeah, getting in the discussion, Zaidi Saab, sir, some last few points from your end before we wrap up.
Yeah, I have to make 3 points here. Number one, the aim and the theme of the road safety is not only the reduction of accident. That will be the byproduct. If we can bring in the discipline on the road, which will ensure the safe and smooth flow of traffic, and ultimately observance of the traffic laws and rules. And that is going to result ultimately in the reduction of the accident. Number two, this is on the part of the police I'm talking about, the identification of the black spots where the accidents are taking place recurring, and then scientific study of each and every accident taking place, so that we know where the defect lies, whether it is in the road engineering, whether it is in the environment, or whether it is the human behavior, or it is due to the vehicular or any other reason. So this is very important. Though we have some computer programs already available where this study is done, but this has not yet institutionalized. I would like to emphasize here that this system of study of accidents should be institutionalized, and this will lead to us a lot of solutions on the ground itself, which can be implemented by police, which can be implemented by the road owning agency, which can be implemented by the transport authority department and other policymakers or the stakeholders. And third thing is about in police. Today, I'm the expert of the crime. Tomorrow, I'm transferred to the traffic police and I become the traffic expert.
I know.
So the people and the public expect me to behave as a traffic expert. Can I be a traffic expert? After spending almost 7 to 8 years in traffic, I don't call myself a traffic manager. Yes, I do have the knowledge, but I'm not a exact traffic manager. So here I would like to emphasize that any officer of any rank, he should be compulsorily undergo a training of 3 months before he is transferred to the traffic police. And his tenure may be fixed. There could be many reasons that why he should not continue in the traffic permanently, but his training is must, and his tenure should be must. And then constant evaluation of his performance as a traffic policeman. Not necessarily that he's going to be a good traffic policeman. So constant evaluation is very important. So these are the 2-3 points. Of course, we can go on discussing and we can go on making the points. But these are 3 points from my side.
Zaidi Saab, these points are priceless, and our team has taken note, and we shall surely include them in our action plan, in our action points. And let's see what the government have to say about it. At the end of the day, carrot and stick always works. So discipline is the stick, and carrot can be from our end when we reward and recognize the government departments for doing these things, for implementing these initiatives. Oh, great. So Pandeyji, last few points from your end, sir.
I think I fully agree. It's a complex science. When Janta understands road crash as a bad luck, for all of us, at least we know, it's an interaction of many things. When we see a driver is at fault, driver has a vehicle and a road as a context. And then this study of this with data points, it needs a lot of big data evaluation. And it needs a institutionalized mechanism to do the crash research. Once you do the crash research, we know the cause effect analysis, we make the Pareto, and then we intervene. In all good interest, everybody puts in, I can do this, I can do that. But is it needed? What is needed first has to be decided by this analysis. And even when you make the best of the roads, you make the best of the cars, if the citizen does not love road safety, if they don't like to be safe, do whatever, nothing will work out. And that's why jab hum badlenge to desh badlega. We need to give that carrot. Anuj, you said we need to give the carrot. We need to have a deterrence. If 90% people are defaulting, you cannot have an enforcement. With 80,000 of traffic, 1 billion Indians, it is worse than Kashmir, patthar feekne wala, you are stone pelting is easier than managing the traffic with 1 billion breaking the rule and finding ways to break the rule. So they are actually in fight. Road is a war. So somewhere, I will say in the end, let's start with transformation in the culture, and that can happen if you have a 10% deterrence, 10% of enforcement, which we just heard that how this can be improved, but 90% is bringing that culture. जब हम बदलेंगे तो देश बदलेगा. Honoring that.
Great, that's fantastic, Pandiji. And so, Avigda, points from your end?
I would end with, again, something of carrot and stick. I was just checking the latest data. We have lost 152,000 lives to the coronavirus, and the Arogya Setu app has been made almost mandatory by the government. Okay, we might not lose the same numbers next year and the year after that, but every year we lose 150,000 lives to road accidents. There is no app which is made mandatory by the government that every citizen should actually carry on his or her smartphone. Okay, and the app actually allows behavior, discipline, enforcement, reporting, and some kind of where you close the loop and just make the road slightly better. So why can't, so if you're, this is possibly one of the biggest diseases of this country.
It is.
Okay. And for this disease, why can't there be an app? And in the app, not only give the stick, but also give the carrot. The more you use the app, the more you use it and report through that, the more you use it and improve others' lives, you earn points. And at the end of the day, the government possibly gives you a reward, recognizes you.
Beautiful.
I think I will just add what Avik said. We have just very good proverb, Avik, what you said in summary in Hindi. It says, "Na to jhooti saan ke liye," those films and all showing that speed, "Na to jhooti saan ke liye, na to chalan ke liye." Take the challenges, apni jaan ke liye, apne samman ke liye. Let's have it.
Beautiful. Beautiful points, Avigda. In fact, so Corona, 1.5 lakh deaths in 1 year. But because of road deaths, 1.5 lakh deaths every year, each and every year. In the last 10 years, they are 1.5 million deaths. And also, as what Dr. Sharad had shared, you don't even know how many disabilities it is causing, which is at times irreversible. So the impact, the negative impact, the damage of road accidents and the lack of road safety is every year what Corona is just 1 year. So let's pull up our socks and let's take this direct to action. Whatever we can do in a coordinated way, let's do it. And yes, carrot and stick always work. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking out your time. Really appreciate your insights and points. And it is our job now to take this direct to action in whatever way we can. Thanks a ton. And thank you, Jerry sir and Mohini, for helping in the coordination.
Thank you, sir. Thank you to everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
you.